What's going on, you guys? It's Randy with Full Throttle Obsessions. Today we're going to be installing a pair of aluminum trailing arms on the rear of my Axial SMT10 Grave Digger. The trailing arms are from SSD, a company I haven't really heard of before, but they seem like they're fairly good quality arms. They're got some pretty good weight to them. Of course, the center is aluminum, and then the end pieces are plastic, which would be a really good upgrade over the factory ones, because the factory trailing arms are really weak. I'll show you guys here, we end up breaking the right rear one on our first run. We just kind of landed from a jump kind of wrong, and we kind of just snapped it right there. You see the piece. We snapped the arm and pulled the rear drive shaft out. But that's just part of the fun. Build it, break it, and fix it, right? So we're going to go ahead. This should be a fairly quick and easy install. We're going to go ahead and get them on, and we'll get them tested out in a future video here. But really, these things seem pretty strong just by filling them in the package, so I don't see any problems with these arms. If they are how they appear, we'll go ahead and get some on the front, because I'm sure we're going to break the front trailing arms here soon, since we broke the rears on the first run. But alright, without further ado, let's get these things installed. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with the broken side first. The first thing we'll go ahead and do is remove the rear tire and rim. That way we can access the screw on the bottom control arm, our trailing arm. Put that to the side. Tire off. Now we'll go ahead and kind of prop it under there. Now we'll go ahead and make sure we have the right Allen, the right size Allen, which it appears we do. We'll go ahead and take this screw out. Put that there. Pull that out. Yeah, you can see that where that thing snapped. Go ahead and undo the screw to the shock. Oh, maybe there's a nut on the other side of that. And there is. Whoa, all right. Dogs are going crazy out there, but let's go ahead and get this loosened. I definitely wasn't expecting that. I guess I should have looked. But there's a tiny nut on the back of that shock there. So we'll keep those two together so we don't get them mixed up. Now we'll do the lower control arm screw. Alright, now I kind of kept them separated. I kept the front of the control arm here, center where the shock was, right there. Well, that's a wheel nut. And then the rear, so I don't get them mixed up there. Go ahead and take this out. That's kind of cool in the factory trailing arm. There's another screw, probably so you can set up another set of shocks. I know there's some people that put dual shocks on them. So that's kind of nice to know. You can put two shocks on it, and it comes with the extra screw and nut. Now, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and slide these splines in on this drive shaft. That way I don't get the arm on and forget about that and have to undo the arm to get the drive shaft in. Now we'll go ahead and open up the SSDs. It's kind of nice, they put them each in individual packages in the main package so they don't scratch. Rub against each other and scratch up. Oh yeah, these actually feel really nice, really good quality. I'm actually surprised about that because I never heard of this company before, but these are nice trailing arms. Go ahead and get them installed here. Let's see. We'll go ahead and make sure we install them the right way. You can see the shorter side here was towards the axle, towards the bottom. So we'll go ahead and, I'll go ahead and stick the bottom in first. Alright, here. We'll go with the top. Oh, dry shaft just slid out. I gotta slide the dry shaft back in, but that's no big deal. Screw that in there. Alright, before I put the bottom, I'll slide the dry shaft back in, the splines here. Let's see. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and put the bottom in so it holds that dry shaft in place. And we'll go ahead and see. Okay, it's got it on the bottom one. Alright, get the bottom one in. Now we'll go ahead and install the shock here. I think I'm going to put it in the center hole because you got 3 holes on this arm. So I'll go ahead and put it in I think the center will be good. Let's go ahead and see how we're going to squeeze this in here. There we go. Kind of had to be a little less gentle. I installed the bottom of the shock off camera because that little tiny nut, it was kind of hard to get back on there and get the screw lined up, so we went ahead and did that off camera. It's not hard, you just kind of need to see where you're putting that screw. Make sure you got it lined up right. Now we'll go ahead and put the tire and wheel back on. Oh yeah, those look nice. Oh yeah, that arm looks really nice. Now let's go ahead and do the other side. Go ahead and do the same thing. We'll remove the tire and wheel. Get the axle there. Prop it up. One thing I forgot to point out, they come with spare little rod ends here, which is kind of nice since those are plastic. They probably do break, but it's really nice that they give you extras. So go ahead and save those. Oh, and then we got that one in the individual package here. Going to open it up and take off this arm. So first, let's go ahead and take off the shock. Well, I guess I shouldn't have put the dry shaft back in here. I'll take off one end of the shock. I have to slide the dry shaft back out so I could get to that nut behind the shock. So go ahead and take that off. There. Now we can slide it. There we go. Now I should have room to get that shock off. Alright, now I'll go ahead and do the bottom of the arm, the axle side. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and save this spare arm just in case one of the fronts break. It looks like it might be the same arm on the front. So we're going to go ahead and save this for a spare just in case we need it in a pinch. And also we're going to save these extra screws for another shock. A little trick that I didn't know on the other side is I'm leaving this screw kind of part way in because it doesn't slide in so easy. It's like it's threaded on both sides. So you leave a couple threads in when you put the arm, and then you just kind of screw it down and make it a little easier. So I figured I'd share that because I didn't know that at first. Something I guess you don't know until you actually do it. Let's see, we'll go ahead and put this back on here. A little quick tip. That lined up. Now something different on this side, I gotta put the shock in before I go ahead and slide those splines to the dry shaft, because the dry shaft blocks where I can't get my little T-wrench in there for that little nut on the back of the shock. So we're just going to go ahead and wedge this in here. I went ahead and installed the bottom shock bolt off camera as well because it's just too hard to tinker with it. And it's a really tight fit to get the shock in here. So to get it in there and then get it lined up, kind of difficult to do if you're not really, if you don't really got a good view of what you're doing. So now, this is the side where it's real important. We got to get the dry shaft splines in. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and install the top of the trolling arm there. Slide the little screw through. There we go. Oh, we didn't get it. Whoops. There we go, we got it that time. And screw that down. Alright. Put the tire and wheel back on. There we go. Alright, now the Grave Digger's back in action. We're definitely going to have some fun with this truck. Man, look at those arms though. Those arms look nice. Now that I've seen them and know that these arms are really good quality, we're going to go ahead and buy a set for the front. The reason why I didn't at first, because they're around $40, like $36 or something like that, and I didn't want to spend the extra money if they weren't good quality arms and they didn't fit that good, but they fit really nice. So we're going to go ahead and order a set for the front. But of course I'm not going to change them until we actually break the trailing arm on the front. Then we'll go ahead and install them. The detail on the body and the chassis really have me in love with this truck. But alright guys, definitely stay tuned. We're going to be taking this truck out and testing those rear trailing arms, which I don't think we're going to have any issues since they're aluminum and they seem really strong. I am curious about those plastic rod ends, but time will tell. We'll see if they stand the test of time. I hope you guys liked the video, and as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.